What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jared Wilson, joined by Rachel Mogan.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, how are you this fine day?
I don't think you can tell in this particular lighting. I'm on the farther east end of the time zone now, so it's already getting really dark outside here, but I do actually have the start of a tan. I don't think you can really see that here.
I can't, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
You'll just have to take my word for it. I've been able to. I'm visiting my parents right now, so I've been able to actually get outside. And even though the beaches are closed, so you can't really beach here in coastal Alabama, but you can still go near them and still be in the sunshine.
Still
and
get to enjoy it
a little bit of a tan.
Nice. Very good. Well, it's good to be back here at Team Chat Podcast, a weekly video game show where, like I said, we talk about video games, the ones we love, the ones we hate, and everything in between. New episodes come out on Tuesday mornings, and you can listen to those on podcast services around the World Wide Web, as well as watch a video version of each episode on our YouTube channel. You can also find us on social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We have a Discord server that you can join. Links for all that are in the description below. And finally, if you would really love to help make the show bigger and better, because you're like, man, these two, Matt Mogan and Jarrett, they talk about some really cool stuff about video games. You want to help us make the show bigger and better? Well, you can do that by going to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support the show. And in return, we'll give you cool perks like getting the episodes early before our general Tuesday release and access to other fun bits of extra goodness. I know it's on there right now. Like I said before, we had to take kind of a pause due to all the pandemic stuff and it just being one less thing to have to worry about right now. But we did put a pause on Team Chit Chat, the sideshow. Although the last episode of Team Chit Chat, which was episode 4, where I talk about Castlevania Season 1, the Netflix show, just came out for public release. So you can go back and listen to that one. And once we will be bringing that back, but that's another reward tier that we have on our on the Patreon as well. But if you don't want to do that, that's no big deal. Although I do have to say, we have to give a special shout out to our latest patron, Michael Boyd, who was guest on the show not too long ago to talk about Assassin's Creed and some other stuff. He recently became a patron. So thank you, Michael. That's awesome. But if you don't want to do that, that's no big deal at all. You can still help us make the show bigger and better by either writing us a review, subscribing on Facebook, or not subscribing, following us on Facebook, sure, liking us on there, but giving us a subscribe on our YouTube channel, writing us a review, subscribing on a podcast service of your choice, telling your friends. All those things help make the show bigger and better as well. So we are deeply appreciative and grateful for each and every one of our patrons and listeners and viewers like you, PBS. But it just felt right to say it. I don't know why. But yeah, so it's good to be back here talking about the games. I'm sorry that everybody that we missed last week. My computer was on the fritz. My cooling fan in it just died. So my CPU was getting to incredibly hot temperatures and causing the computer to crash. So it actually happened to us when we were recording the last episode on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It died then, and I was just like, weird, random, because it didn't happen again. But we actually had to re-record that episode because it happened, because we lost it.
We ain't got no time for that happening.
We ain't got time for that. But then I tried
for that.
No, so hopefully it should be all fixed. It's been running good since then. I tried to stream on Star Wars Day, or the day after Star Wars Day last week, to play some Jedi Fallen Order, and it just wasn't happening. And that's when I figured out what was going on. So fortunately, everything should be back up and running. We're glad to be back and talking about some video games with you all today. But before we do that, let's get a bit of news in our moment with Mogan.
Okay, so just a ton of games came out in that one stupid week where we didn't record.
Of course, that's how it always happens.
Unfortunately, there's a bunch of Dead Space I'm not going to talk about because there's still a lot coming out, even just this week and over the coming weeks. So starting as of today, May 19th, the following are all out. A Fold Apart for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Golf with Your Friends, which, quick caveat, I would just like to say more games that tell you exactly what they are about right in the title. That is A++ from me. So Golf with Your Friends is out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. So is Gorn, that is Gorn, for PlayStation VR. Mafia 2 Definitive Edition is also out. The Wonderful 101 Remastered!
Hey!
Yes! Oh, I forgot it was coming out this soon. Okay, so Wonderful 101 Remastered is out for PlayStation 4, which is new, Nintendo Switch, and PC. I really do want to encourage people to go and give this wild game a try.
Because
it is one of those...
Sorry.
It's an unfortunate game that got caught up in the Wii U So many people never got to play it, but it is a crazy action-packed game, very unique. I would definitely recommend it to anybody looking for something different and very fast-paced action.
Very cool. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't
And
think it was. I thought it was only a Wii U, but yeah, I couldn't remember if it had been for
yeah,
other
it was a
things.
Wii U exclusive with terrible planning. It is from Platinum Games, so those of you familiar with the Bayonetta series, Near Automata, it's the same people, so it's very different stylistically, but it'll probably feel a little similar in how the action flows.
Nice.
And then coming very soon on May 20th, we have Cannibal Cruise. Not Cannibal Cruise, Cannibal Cuisine, which isn't really any better or worse than
Okay.
Cannibal Cruise. So, Cannibal Cuisine, that's for Switch and PC. There's also Crucible for the PC, Neversong for PC, and then on the 21st we have Red Wings Aces of the Sky for Nintendo Switch. Time Lie or Timeline, that might be a typo. Unsure. We'll assume it's Time Lie. For PC, What the Golf? Question mark for
Two golf
Nintendo
games.
Switch. Yeah, 2 golf games in 1 week. Who planned that? And then later this weekend on May 22nd, we have Maneater, another one about cannibals? Question.
No,
This.
it's actually you play as a shark, and
Oh yeah,
you
I
like
do know
go.
what this one
This
is.
one I've like
Yes,
heard
yes,
about for
yes.
forever, and I feel like this is maybe just like a port to another system and not its first actual
Yeah, it
release.
might be because I feel like I've seen people playing it
Yeah,
before.
I mean,
This might just be a port. Anyway, so it is out now for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
cool.
That may have just been a typo. Maybe they accidentally put it too far into
No, because
the month or whatever.
I've seen stuff about it coming out soon. I just didn't look to go see if it was a port or not. It was sheer laziness on my part that I don't know for sure.
Whatever. Anyways, Saints Row, the third remastered for PlayStation 4,
Oh,
Xbox
that's
One, and
cool.
PC. We also have Sword Art Online, Alicia's. Oh my god, Alice. Aliciazation Lycoris? Jesus! Um, don't quote me on that title, but that's for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And I think that pretty much covers it for this week.
Man, stacked week. A lot of
Yeah,
stuff
a
coming
lot.
out.
And if I wish you were looking at the list of everything that came out between like the 13th and the 15th, because it is massive. It
Yeah,
would have taken all day to get through that.
man, that's crazy.
Anyways, so whatever. The
Lots of
point
stuff.
is, a
Games out
lot of
there. Go
games
buy
are
them.
out.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's been a little bit of it's starting to, we're kind of starting to see some now things coming out and more information, especially with like E3 not happening this year. Some of those other things are starting to kind of kick up and take off. Like right now, currently is Summer Games Fest, which is going to be kind of like a long thing spread out over a few months where they'll just be randomly dropping bits of news and having these like show offs and showcases and everything like that. So I think one of the first installments actually happened by the time you're listening to this last week, where Jeff Keighley talked to Epic Games, and what they did is they revealed on this web call that they were all having the Unreal Engine 5, and it's what a lot of games and everything in the next generation are going to be running off of. And they showcased this tech demo for it that was running on the PS5, not like a PC running off of render. It was captured on the PS5 and everything. And my God, Mogan, the quality, the beauty, the like they went in this whole thing. It's really a lot of technical. Maybe there's basically there's millions of triangles. Basically, is what the whole thing is. Like it's just like to make all the different shapes of things. Whatever. It's just basically is saying like it's this massively powerful rendering engine that even like you can have cinema quality graphics and everything in these games and everything like that. And so what they showed off was incredibly impressive. So I would say everybody go check that out because it is a pretty exciting thing to see. Like this is what we could be getting in the next generation of consoles in terms of graphics and everything. And I think that's a pretty fun thing to have. And so it was really cool to see that. What else? I'm trying to think of something else. I know a lot of stuff happened and I just missed it because I was dealing with all this computer shit, but
Well, the fun thing that we both saw as of today, actually when we're recording this, I think is when the announcement came out.
oh yeah, this is the thing.
Nintendo, out
Yeah.
of left field, people, there were kind of rumors that a game like this was going to be coming out sometime this year, but
Mhm.
nothing was really definitive. And then, not even in a Nintendo Direct, just like randomly, Nintendo announced that it is confirmed that they are about to release Paper Mario: The Origami King. in July.
Yeah.
So it's coming out this July. It's coming out in like almost less than 2 months, it feels like. And it's like, wow, that was a very unceremonious way to announce what is probably going to be a really good game. So I'm really excited about that. I figured that if there was going to be a new Paper Mario, it wouldn't be until, holiday 2020.
Mhm.
Wrong? It's coming out right now, pretty
Well,
much.
yeah, especially I mean, I know it's not standard Mario, but I mean, it's still Mario. So it's like, it's a big game in Nintendo's wheelhouse. And for them to just be like, here it is, 2 months away, you're going to get this game. And it's like, oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's wild.
We weren't expecting that. Yeah. So I showed Sam that as soon as the trailer came out, I was like, oh, if she loved Yoshi's Crafted World, she's going to be all about this. And so I showed her the trailer, and sure enough, she was like, yes, I'm going to need this game.
Now, in ye olden times, the combat of Paper Mario was really different than I think what Sam might actually like. It was
Mhm.
actually in Thousand Year Door, at least. It was like a turn-based JRPG kind of setup where
Oh,
you would
interesting.
have characters in your party, like Mario and who his companion was, and you would take turns, basically fighting against the enemy. So it was kind of that turn-based combat style. That does not appear to be the case in this new game, The Origami King. It looks kind of like an interesting 3D system where you're trying to line enemies up in front of Mario with the intent of being able to hit as many as you
Oh,
can at
like,
once.
yeah, in the trailer, it had like a spinning dial
Yeah,
thing that you were standing on,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
would like
yeah.
rotate it to line them up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that.
Which is really interesting. So I actually really liked the way that the system was done in Thousand Year Door, and that's one of the more popular paper games. They have been historically of varying quality. Some of the ones for Wii and Wii U, and I think maybe even on the 3DS, maybe weren't as, um, maybe just weren't as good,
Mhm.
frankly. But in back in the day, they were really good games. So I'm hopeful this will be a good effort and a good title for the Switch. I think it's going to translate well, and it looks like something that could be nice to actually port around with you with your Switch.
Very cool. Um, yeah, so that one was pretty sweet. I was like surprised, like everything, and I mean, and I was just like, this looks fun. This looks interesting. I'm excited to see it, and of course, I'll get Sam's opinion on it. So it'll be great to have another one for us to play and mess around with together.
Wait, you're not going to play it?
I mean, I will, but like, it's not going to be on like the high list of my priority. I told you, like after what was the one? Oh, Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and all this other stuff. Like I'm finished. And that was the other thing today too. There was a huge like 18-minute gameplay video of Ghost of Tsushima showing off, and like really explored that game, which is now coming out also in July. Uh, and so I haven't had a chance to go back and look through it all yet. Like I said, that came out today, but still, it's that game looks like it's shaping up. So just in the list of priorities, I feel like Paper Mario will slip a little down lower on the list, but
On.
as it is. But today we had for our main topic, we wanted to kind of do something a little bit. It's fun and silly is what it's going to be. It's in a very
Just going to
fun
be fun and silly and probably a little stupid, but we don't care.
because Mogan came up with this fantastic idea for a topic. So why don't you? Wait. Speaking of things that are fun and silly, Sam, we have been trying to figure out like one of the things we've been doing in quarantine and all this is I've been trying to figure out how to like really optimize the office space and everything. Like I'm kind of honestly thinking, I know I haven't talked to you about this yet, but I'm honestly thinking we might go back to shooting into the corner of the room like how we used to do to give us more
Whoa.
wall space and things like
Whoa.
that. I know, right? It's a change. It's going to be a change. So we've been thinking about all these things of what can we do to like fill up the wall space? Cause like right now, actually you can see it, the wall behind me where my camera is and all that, we used to shoot into this corner. So this wall doesn't have anything on it because our studio stuff is right here. So we're trying to figure out like, what can we put here to like fill this all up? So if anybody has any suggestions of things we should put on the wall, let us know. But Sam went and because she knows she's heard me and my buddy Blake talk about him a lot, she got us something to put on this or to display in there. You know those candles that have like Jesus on them and all that stuff? And people,
Scandals! Saint scandals! I love those things.
she ordered one. She just said, "Hey, I got you something for the wall. It's going to show up soon," and it showed up. It's Dr. Disrespect.
Oh my god. What bootlegger on Etsy made that?
Actually, a company here in Austin did. Illuminidal is what they're called. And yeah, so she got this. So it's been awesome. I just have it sitting on the desk.
Oh my god, that's really funny.
I love it. But anyway, so the stupid and funny topic that we're going to talk about today, Mogan, this is your idea. Kick us off on this because I think this is going to be fun.
So there are so many enemies in video games. We all know this.
Oh yeah,
It's not a controversial statement. Video games do have
of
enemies.
course.
Crazy, right? And so many of them that I've encountered over my many years, I've just sat there and thought, and this of course applies to main characters and NPCs too, but I've just thought, man, in another life, if I weren't this particular protagonist, I bet me and that person or thing could be friends. So I was like, Jarrett, do you just want to talk about
Okay,
video game enemies we want to be friends with?
so I totally misunderstood this. I thought you were
Oh
wanting to
no, what
do.
did you think we were
No,
talking
this will
about?
still work. This will still work, and I'm still on board with this. And this is honestly easier than what I thought it was. But
Oh, thank goodness.
I was thought you were wanting to talk about which video game villains themselves would be best friends with each other.
No, God, no, that is so much harder.
I know,
We
and
should do that sometime
Yeah,
though.
but I was like, what the hell? Like, who would be friends with each other? I like thought of some, but this is so
Oh
much
my
better.
God. I really want to hear your list now. Let's go
Okay.
back to yours.
All
I'm
right, let me
just
see.
kidding. Save it for another time.
Okay.
I definitely. That's a good idea. I actually really want to do
Woo,
that.
good.
Topic
Now I have more time to do a little bit of research because I was like, ooh, I don't
No,
know.
oh my God. Oh, that's fun though. We're gonna have to circle back to that. So, anyways, no, this is just like any video game enemy, big or small. It can be a boss. It can be
Mhm.
the scrubbiest scrubber henchman that you're just like, man, I think that this person or thing or this group of type of thing would be really fun and cool to hang out with. And that's the entire topic. We're just gonna talk about who we want to be buds with and why.
So, like, what's one that for you like sprang to mind?
So actually, the reason that I thought about this is because, as you might know, I've been going back and playing Splatoon 2 again.
Mhm.
So I never, in Splatoon 1, I did finish the single player mode, which is actually kind of like a very loose story where, you're trying to beat something because something bad happened. It doesn't matter. The
Yeah.
point is to play the fun levels and have a nice time. It's not about the story. But it does actually have a little bit of story there. So in Splatoon 1 and in Splatoon 2, so this is a very mild spoiler for Splat 2 if you haven't played the single player mode and you don't want it to be spoiled.
If you spoil it for
The
me, I'm never gonna play it. You know what I mean?
I know, I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to hear this. And it applies to Splatoon 1 too, so
Uh,
you should know by now. The big boss that you are fighting against in Splatoon 1 at least is DJ Octavio. So
amazing.
I have
What
a
an
little
amazing
picture
name.
here that I'm at least gonna send to you because I
Sure.
want you to be able to see this wild guy. He is so fun. So DJ Octavio, as his name might imply, and if you know anything about Splatoon, is an octopus. That is not a joke. He's not even really humanoid. He's pretty much just a giant octopus. He's like kind of reddish purple, and he has menacing, like glowing green eyes. He looks perpetually angry.
Uh huh.
He wears a very large, like samurai style helmet, but that also has kind of an octopus on it too. It almost looks like Cthulhu actually, but it's like a gold emblazoned samurai helmet,
Oh,
and he
okay.
carries in two of his tentacles what I believe are radishes. I think it's specifically the kind of radish that you would make wasabi out of, because a lot of his dialogue references like the hot wasabi beats that he's laying down.
Oh my
Because here's the
god.
thing, DJ Octavio. He is a DJ. That's his job.
Yeah.
Like his whole his job. He's actually leader of the Octolings. That's his real job. I guess on the weekend he DJs some sweet parties. So when you fight him and this is Splatoon 1, so this is not Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
When you fight him at the end of the game, like you don't really know what's coming. You have no idea what to expect in this end game. You're like, what's the final boss going to be? Because you fought smaller bosses up until then at the end of each kind of area or level. So when you get to DJ Octavio, he like descends from space and from the sky in what is essentially a large floating dome that is shaped like, how auditoriums will have the big like half dome behind them that is for the
Yes.
sound, like an amphitheater, kind of like
Mhm.
an amphitheater. He's sitting in a giant floating one of those, and in front of him he has his two turntables, and he uses his wasabi sticks to like turn the turntables and lay down some sick
That's
beats. And it's
amazing.
full of what's the word for it? speakers. I couldn't even think of the word for speakers. I was like, the thing that makes the bump and like it's got mesh on it. I don't
You
know.
hear sounds
It's
from
full of
it.
speakers. You hear sounds from it. It's full of speakers, some of which can hurt you because in Splatoon 1 they still had the killer whale, so
Mm.
some of it is actually used to actually damage you, and it shoots out many, many missiles. That's neither here nor there. The point is, if you weren't an Inkling, if you weren't, the sworn enemy of the Octolings, I bet DJ Octavio is probably a pretty sweet dude to be bros with. He seems like, what's he doing when he's not fighting you? Being a DJ, it would seem. It doesn't seem like he does much governing
Dropping the
the
hottest mixtapes of the
Octolings.
year.
Yeah, dropping those hot, sweet tapes, dude. Those EPs or whatever the young people are calling them.
Those
And I just
bops.
figured, man, what must it be like to be an Octoling and go to like a skate park in the middle of the night? Of course, everything's neon in Splatoon all the time,
Mhm.
and just rave to DJ Octavio. And then maybe later, 6 a.m. rolls around, you go out for brunch afterwards. That seems like a pretty fun time.
Just except for
And
when he's
that's as
trying to,
much as I have to say
kill the
about him.
squidler, the inklings,
Except for when he's trying to kill the Inklings. You do actually encounter him in Splatoon 2 as well. I think he is the final boss.
Hmm.
I actually haven't gotten to him though, so I am still trying to get to the end game of the single player mode in Splatoon 2, but it's very difficult at times. I think he gets an upgrade, like his big flying auditorium machine. I think is a lot fancier, but I only know that because of what other people have told me and like very brief videos that I've seen about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like he'd be a pretty cool dude to hang out with, and I think he maybe knows the captain. Captain Cuttlefish, the old salty dog that is an Inkling that helps out you in Splatoon 1.
Yeah.
And maybe Splatoon. I don't think he's in Splatoon 2. I think he's only in Splatoon. Maybe. Don't quote me on that. I haven't finished it. So yeah, DJ Octavio. I want to hang out and go to sweet raves with him.
Nice.
End of story.
So, I'm now going through my lists of all these game stuff that I've played before, trying to be like, which of these villains, because the problem is I'm finding now as I'm thinking about this and trying to go through this is like, a lot of the games that I play, I don't know if I necessarily would want to admit that I would want to be friends with these villains because they're all terrible.
You can also, a lot of the other things that I thought of kind of off the cuff were like the jellies from Stardew Valley. Just like the little,
the little
blob.
slime
I was like,
things.
those blobs seem nice. Not even the nice things that like in my head I called them the chews, like the choo-choos, because that's what they look like from The Legend of Zelda, but that's not what they are. They're just little blobby jellies, and I'm like, yeah, I do want to be friends with you, little slimes. Slimes! They are called slimes, you said that. For no better reason than because they're fun and cute, and they make a silly little noise, and they just blob around. Friendship doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it can just be as dumb as you and a slime hanging out in a forest.
I'm trying to think
as far as it needs to go.
I'm trying to think of somebody though who has like a cool outfit. You know what I mean? Like you get you some like really cool, like either an armor set or they just have like a really good fashion sense.
There's got to be a million in Assassin's Creed.
Well, see, now the one that I could think of, a couple of the ones that I was thinking of before, when on the previous one, like I had thought of like Voss from Far Cry 3, but he's
the crazy guy.
The crazy guy who goes the definition of insanity. But like, I don't know if I want to be friends with that guy. Like, I don't even know if there's a redeeming quality other than the fact that he runs a drug operation on an island and he can probably give you some sweet kickbacks. But it's like, that's, again, not necessarily the best reason for friendship.
What was the name of the cult leader from the Tomb Raider reboot? Like Father Benjamin or something?
I thought it was Matthias.
Matthias. Maybe it was Matthias.
He did have that really cool like hood at the end and everything, like something like that.
Yeah, he did, and he seemed like a pretty good, community leader. So sometimes even crazy people have things about them.
I mean, pulling one from my favorite game of all time, David in The Last of Us, like he's got that whole cannibal thing going, so you want to ignore that, like kind of sweep that under the rug. But I mean, he still is maintaining a very thriving community that Joel and Ellie steamroll through and destroy. But he has that leadership skill that leadership attracts people. We actually just watched that the show on Netflix that they just released on the Waco about the Branch Davidians. But like, it's
Oh, really?
yeah, we just watched that. So
I
it's kind
didn't
of like,
realize that.
yeah, it's good. You should watch it. It's only like 6 episodes long or something like that. It came out on A&E, I want to say a couple of years ago, but still, it's like, the leadership, strong leader. People agree with that, and it's just kind of like that could be something. It's like if I was in a
But do
post-apocalyptic
you want to be
society.
friends with that person? This is
Again,
about
see, this is what I
friendship.
mean. This is hard. So I feel like I gotta go with somebody. I mean, it's like, okay, I could say Bowser. Bowser would be really cool because he has some, even though it's like cartoonish and everything, he's got some sweet tech. Like, look at his like flying boat, basically. Like, that's pretty cool.
I mean, he's even made it into space. If you count the
Yeah,
Mario Galaxy games, he's got spaceships, man.
that's true. So I mean, he would be pretty cool just because he would have this very you know, he has this bizarre tech, but it's very efficient. He can set all these traps in his castles. He's got good architects around and his engineers to design all these various pitfalls for Mario to fall into. And I feel like that kind of brain power is good to have when you're building up your brain trust of friends. So, Bowser would be a
See,
good one.
my thought process about Bowser would be that, like, we're all getting older. We're not young and
Yeah,
spry anymore per se. And someday maybe we ourselves might have children, question mark. And Bowser is a dad to many children.
that's
And
true.
I feel like if you were also on his same level of like dadliness, that it might be cool to like just go to his castle when he's not trying to kidnap Peach,
Mhm.
like sit on one of his balconies with him, kick back with beer, and just put all of your children like in the yard and let them run wild.
And then
That's
just
the kind of friendship I'm looking for.
and then just let him tell some stories. He's got all those little kids running around, probably being all under his feet, trying to be like, "Let me beat Mario today, Dad." And he's like, "No." But they keep running away and trying to do it, and he has to wrangle them all in. So I'm sure that breeds a lot of frustration that he just has pent up inside. No wonder he's so angry all the time and breathes fire. So maybe if you're able to befriend him and then just be like, "Hey man, let's chill," like you were saying, let's chill, let's have a drink, let's just kind of calm down and have a good time. That might, pacify the whole situation. So you just be like, you know what, it's cool. It's cool. My bro's coming over. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna chill, and I maybe won't go kidnap Peach tomorrow. So
I feel like Mario has probably never even tried that. Did it
no,
ever even
he
occur to
just goes
him that
straight to
Bowser might
violence.
just want to hang out?
Yeah, he just goes straight to violence. I think Mario's the real villain here because
Yeah.
he breaks into all of Bowser's castles, destroys them, busts up the blocks and everything like that, and then throws Bowser in lava. I'd be mad about that too.
What a jerk.
What a jerk!
What an absolute jerk.
What a jerk! I did think of.
So I feel like I might have. Oh,
Oh no, I was just saying the only other guy like a villain who I can think of immediately who comes to mind who has like really good style, and I'll be like, hook me up with some of that sweet wardrobe, would be the main guy from Far Cry 4, Pagan Min.
that's
He's
not a real name.
it is a
Just
real
kidding.
name. I'm finding the picture real quick. Okay, so basically just because like look at that suit. That's
Oh yeah, I've seen him before.
yeah.
Okay.
Look at that
Okay.
like dapper
Awesome
baller
pink suit
pink
guy.
suit, like jacket and pants. You got to respect that choice. And so I think that'd be cool. But again, he's a terrible human being, and I would want no part of him other than just like give me a sick suit. But
See, I feel like in that regard, I might have a little bit of an advantage in this particular topic because of how many JRPGs I play. Because
mhm.
JRPGs are just stacked with a host of very well defined and like fleshed out both NPCs and villains.
Yeah,
And one of the best series, and I think it really does it very, very well, one of the best series for both NPCs and protagonists and for villains in terms of them having tons of personality, the Bravely Default games.
mhm.
Because we've talked about this a little before. The format of the Bravely Default games is that it's a classic turn-based JRPG, and all of your characters have different classes that they can be, different job classes. Things like merchant, ninja, sharpshooter. But you have to obtain those job classes by defeating somebody that already has it. So, for example, there's like a cat girl in Bravely Default 2, and if you want the cat power. You have to beat her in order to take her cat power. That was a really dumb class, and I didn't like it. But two of the ones that I did really enjoy, well, one that I really liked and one that I only liked a little bit, both from Bravely Default 2 were the Hawkeye, and kind of related to this story is the baker, like the pastry chef. There was a whole job class based on fighting that was like a pastry chef, and your powers would be like you would bake a little cake and then like sling icing at your enemies or your own teammates, and it would give them buffs or debuffs. It's like,
Huh.
what a strange concept.
I'm gonna smother you
But
with my dough.
yeah, exactly. But the point of that is that from that conflict, from that particular point in the story for Bravely Default 2, you got to meet one of my favorite villain NPCs from that game series, Amy Matchlock. So Amy Matchlock, it's spelled like Ame. It's the more ornate spelling of Amy. She is, first of all, adorable. It's really hard to tell ages in the Bravely games. I would assume that she is probably like 20s, young 20s. I don't know. They're either
Yeah.
all children or they're 40, and there's like no in between. But she is a really cute. So this is a bit of a difference in the Japanese version, the original Japanese version, which they did change this for the West. Her character archetype does fall into the category of being kind of like a Native American stereotype.
Mm.
It's like, ooh, not a big fan of that, like the feather in the hair and kind of
Yeah.
like the fringed outfit, that kind of thing. They kind of did away with a lot of that in the Western version and gave her like a cowgirl hat, and made her into like a pew pew Texas sharpshooter, and her voice actress gave her a really heavy, like probably a little bit too much, but I still really liked it, a really heavy like Texas Southern accent.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, I'm all about this, because she's the Hawkeye. She has the Hawkeye asterisk, which is her job class. So she's all about just, she's got a big crazy gun that kind of even looks like a white bird. And
Mhm.
she's just out there, guns ablazing, just knocking everybody down in her path. And the Hawkeye itself is a really good power to have. But Amy as a person is really cute. She's actually probably more obnoxious than cute, but she's cutely obnoxious because she is in love, just head over heels in love with the guy that has the pastry chef job class. So you
Mm.
do eventually have the option to fight both of them at some point, but she loves the pastry chef, and her whole thing is that like she adores his pancakes, and she's constantly talking about his pancakes and just going head over heels for him. And I'm like, yeah, I like that too. I am also from Texas. I also like pancakes. Guns go pew pew, and that is also fun. You seem like you're a really fun time. I really want to be your
We'd
friend.
have time for a lot of
So,
activities.
yeah, it's a really so this both okay, we're about to get into some spoiler territory for
Oh,
Bravely
no.
Default 2. So the game, when you defeat somebody to take their job class, you kill them. Like, they die.
Oh.
So when you defeat Amy Matchlock, she's dead. You just straight up kill her. And at the end of that fight, I would remember being like, no, I love you, Amy. I just really wanted to also have guns. So it's really unfortunate because on the one hand, I want to be her friend so bad. On the other hand, I really wanted her power. But when you kill her, the pastry chef this entire time, because you've seen them interact with each other before, I think his name is like Florian. He has some sort of very silly French name.
Mhm.
Angelo Panettone. I just looked it up. It's actually a very Italian
Sounds, I was
name.
going to say more Italian.
It is very Italian. So panettone is actually like a traditional Italian cake that isn't very good, by the way. I actually don't like panettone, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, he this entire time has really like been ferociously rebuffing Amy, and he's like, "I don't love you. Get away from me. I'm not going to make you pancakes." Blah blah blah. And then you kill her, and he's like, "How dare you?" Kill the love of my life. And it's just really cute. And I'm like, oh my god, both of you don't want to be friends with you. But way in the end game of Bravely Default 2, there is basically a thing that you do that more or less changes the timeline. So this isn't it's a spoiler, it's a super big spoiler. You basically change the timeline to where Amy never died. And it doesn't
Oh,
affect only her. It's kind of like a big world game event thing. But she's basically brought back to life by the power of time travel. And in this like alternate universe where she's brought back to life, her and her beau, they make their dreams come true and they open up that bakery. So there's
nice.
some Texas gunslinger out there right now owning a bakery with her hubby, and I'm like, yes, I am all about this.
I mean, to be
I
fair,
want to
there are
be your
probably
friend so much.
a lot of Texas gunslingers running bakeries here in Texas. Just
Yeah, there
just
are.
just due
They're
to
all around us.
yeah, just due to it being the South.
And that is
um,
exactly why I want to be friends with her so bad.
so you can get some pastries and
Exactly.
do a little bit of skeet shooting. You know,
Yeah. She just seems like everything about her is great and wonderful. Who wouldn't want to be BFFs with Amy Matchlock? What a champ.
so let me think here. Who's another one? Oh, I did think of one. I did think of a good one because obviously it's good to have a little bit. If you're going to be friends, all of these friendships, these hypothetical friendships, are based off of like some kind of like really for in my the benefit they provide me. Like you, guns and pastries. Me, I would like some good solid protection. So who I would want in my corner when just to like always have around a Big Daddy from BioShock.
Oh, that's an interesting choice.
You
I
know.
too like the Big Daddies.
Because it's like until what's the main? I forget. It's been so long since I played Bioshock. But what's your character's name? Does it say?
I don't know.
It doesn't even give
I,
one. But anyway,
I think it does, but I never cared.
yeah, it's been so long. I mean, since I played that one. But it's like they're down there. They protect the little sisters, and like nobody's messing with them until you come along, and then you mess with them. But outside of that, like if you're walking around in Rapture and everything, you saw Big Daddy, you're like, nah, I think I'll go the other way. And so I think that one, had just a good bodyguard thing. Plus, what an awesome like character design too, like with like the old scuba diver look with the huge drill and everything.
The drill arm,
The
that's the
drill arm.
big thing.
I remember the first time I got killed by one of those in BioShock. Oh my God. And like the animation of it's like it just drilling into you and as like red like seeps over the screen. I was like, this is brutal, but I love it so much. I just love their look, and how just
The main character did have a name. It's Jack. His
Jack.
name is Jack in the first game.
Okay. Because Andrew Ryan is the creator of Rapture. And then
Correct.
the Atlas? Is that the
Yes.
Yeah. The other the Would You Kindly guy.
Yes, correct.
And see, that's the thing too. Knowing that now, it's just like if anybody did mess with you, you'd just be like, "Well, I assume that you're under this same like hypnosis or whatever." So just be like, "Would you kindly not attack me?" And then you're fine.
Well, I just love that the implication, and I could be totally wrong about this, but it always seemed to me like if you weren't the enemy in the BioShock games, and if you were just walking past a Big Daddy and didn't mess with the little sister, he'd probably just be cool with you. He'd
Yeah.
probably just be cool being around, and it's like, much like those little sucker fishes that like glom onto a shark, kind of both to feed off of them and protection. That's the kind of relationship that I feel like you
Exactly.
could have with a Big Daddy.
A good
Just
good
kind of
symbiotic
follow
relationship.
them,
I
and
can
just in
carry
their
things for them
wake.
because they only have one
Exactly.
hand. They can
That's
drill
true.
things for me, but I can carry things for them. And so it works out. Plus, they could probably give pigback rides too, pretty good ones. They're so
Yeah, I
big,
bet so.
So just another thing to think about there. Let me think. What's another? I had another one. Oh, the guy from the boss we just beat in Guacamelee 2, who's like the theater. I can't remember his name now.
The Muñeco guy.
Yes,
He
yes.
has like dolls or
And he's got the
whatever.
3
Yes,
chickens.
he is super cool.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, he seems like a really good
Because like he
time.
just seems like he always, you're going around with him and it's just like you've got entertainment for days because not only can he like make himself really big and everything like he did in the boss fight, he's got his 3 chicken pals and they put on shows. They rehearse lines.
Yeah.
They sing, they harmonize. You know what I mean?
Guacamelee is a great choice. That game is also full of many a character with a shining personality. I would definitely be friends with El Muñeco.
Or like Flameface in that one too. He's like you're talking about like guns and pastries. Flameface, he's just a dude who's on fire with the Flameface, but like he runs a really sick dojo and everything and trains you in all these moves.
He runs Sick dojo.
So, if you're wanting to learn some martial arts or in some special moves like the, rooster uppercut and different things like that, that's who you go to. That's your guy. You go to Flameface. Let me see. What's another
You know,
good
you
one?
could also make s'mores on him. Like if he
He's
were cool
literally
with
a
it,
trap. Yeah.
you could literally make like little roasted hot dogs, marshmallows. You could roast all of those over him.
You just build a little
You know, you
contraption
could go.
like a little grill
You would
thing
always be yeah,
on
yeah, like to go on
stands
his
that goes like
shoulders.
over him. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
just like can grill burgers. He's like literally a traveling cooking surface.
You would always be able to go camping no matter where you are
Hmm.
because you bring the fire with you all over the place. Yeah, that's definitely a big pro to
Have,
having Flameface as your friend.
have you gone to Halcyon here it's like on 4th Street or whatever, but they have those
I
tabletop
know what you're
s'mores.
talking about.
Yeah.
Ooh, they do?
You haven't had those?
No.
Okay.
Oh, dang. I gotta go
Whenever whenever we can go there again. When
someday.
we'll have to go get tabletop s'mores there because they're so good. But yeah, so Flameface would be another good one too. Man, there's so many. See, this is why this is good. This is good because it's just like so many dumb different things. I'm trying to think of like another one.
I would definitely go with a variety of characters from the Okami game. I'm not counting Okami Den because it's a bad game, and I'm not afraid to say it. Okami Den is an inferior product. But Okami had a bunch of really good characters, and the one that I would actually probably want to be friends with the most is like the big bad of that entire game, Orochi. So he's the first real boss that you fight, and you actually fight him a number of times. He is the eight-headed, I think he's an eight-headed dragon, and he is gigantic, and he's kind of like the Japanese style dragon where he's really long and serpentine. So he's not like a Western dragon with
Right.
big fat wings or whatever. He is a eight-headed creature that is connected, and at the point where the eight heads connect, which I guess is kind of like his body, it sort of just looks like a little mound, but on top of it he has mounted his own little bell, like a giant dinner bell question mark.
Okay.
And the bell and the platform that it sits on is where the villagers that he terrorize traditionally put the maiden that they are sacrificing to him for him to eat her.
Oh,
So
no.
it is quite literally a dinner bell. But I do think that he still makes good friend material because Orochi loves, well, maybe not loves, but he can sure as heck get drunk AF. And you know that this is true because in his fight, he lives in kind of like a little pond, I guess because he's a serpentine dragon or whatever. But if you pour the sacred sake into the moat that he lives in and then use your celestial brush powers to basically make the sake go into his eight mouths, each of the heads in succession gets drunk and they can't fight you anymore. And that's actually how you beat him.
Oh, that's
is you
hilarious.
you just get him so drunk that you eventually can do him damage. And it's like, man, what a great idea for a fight for starters. But also that means that he is down to party at all times. And I just feel like, yeah, I mean, if you were friends with him, you could go along with him and also terrorize villages and take all of the snack maidens and sake that you want, and then go back to your awesome moon cave, which is where he lives, that is staffed very well by little imps and minions, and you could live the high life. So, like, yeah, I do want to be friends with Orochi. No matter what you're in, he's got 8 heads. You can talk to any of them at all times. There's
Lots of
one for
conversation to
every
be had.
situation and emotion. One to talk about love with and all your problems with relationships. Another one to talk careers. Another one just to talk about Outlander. I don't know what Orochi watches on TV, but he's got to be into something. So yeah, I feel like he'd make a really good buddy if you could get on his good side.
In a similar vein to that, a game I haven't played yet, but it's a very similar thing. The like overall theme of it, and I think it would be a good one for us to play sometime on one of our like weekly, one of our monthly streams and everything. Maybe after we finish Guacamelee or something like that. Is a After Party that just came out like last year. Yeah, came out last year. But basically, the synopsis of it is: in After Party, you play as Milo and Lola, recently deceased best buds who must outdrink Satan to escape from hell.
Yes, I saw that. That did actually look really funny.
So
What a
basically,
fun
I'm saying I want to be best
concept.
friends with Satan to just party it up, you know?
Hell yeah.
Literally, hell yeah.
Literally, hell yeah. What a great idea.
Oh man. The answer to that question is yeah, today, Satan. Not today, Satan. Yes, today, Satan. Let's see. What's
Yes,
another?
today's
Yes, please. Um, what would be another good one? I think we got like maybe
well,
one or two more. I
do you
don't know
think so?
actually.
Because I feel like we've been
I feel
talking for
like
a while.
yeah, I feel like I actually can't think of one. I feel like another one right now would kind of be a stretch. But man, there's a lot of builds and a lot of different ways to think about it. I'm glad I was able to pull. That's so funny to me. I completely had this backwards. What we were going to be talking about.
Yeah, I had no idea that that's what you were thinking. That's
I
such a
don't.
fun idea.
I don't even know what I
We
read.
should definitely turn that into an episode where it's like either, villain matchmaker or villain friendship matchmaker. I think that's a fun idea.
You know what a fun one of our episodes that I want to go back to and listen to because it's a similar vein to that same concept is the one that we did with Zach where it was we had to bring a dinner party guest and why.
Oh yeah, that would be a fun one to
That
do
was a
again.
good one. That was a really
God, I
fun one.
forgot about that
I know.
one.
I don't even remember now who I said I would bring. I
I
know
don't
he.
know either.
I know he said. Oh, I think I actually remember all of Zach's. I think it was like Nick Valentine from Fallout 4,
Fallout? Yeah, I remember that.
and then Booker DeWitt. I think from wasn't that the other one that he had? Booker DeWitt from BioShock Infinite.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can't
Ooh,
remember
another good
mine,
one.
but I remember Zach's.
What does that say about that episode? We were slacking. I don't remember any of mine
he
either.
brought the gold on that episode. But no,
Good stuff.
I need to go back and listen to that one. That one's been I remember that one being just like a very unique one that we did. Or wait, or was that Zach's idea or was it Antonio's?
That may have been a suggestion.
It might
I
have
think Antonio
been.
wrote in and suggested it.
Yeah. And I've associated with Zach
Huh.
because Zach introduced us to Antonio.
Yeah, well.
Also, by the way, Antonio
well,
or Zach, if you're listening, hey, what's up? But man, yeah, that was a good episode though. I do remember that one. But yeah, we'll have to flesh out the one where it's like what villains should be best friends with each other because that would be a very fun way to go about this too. But yeah, if you guys, what are your villains that you're like? Sam always gives me crap about this, like in Star Wars and everything like that, or any movie or like series and stuff that I like. She's like, "Why do you always like the villains? What's so cool about the villains?" I'm like, duh, because they always have the
a
coolest
lot of
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always have the cool stuff.
And like in Star Wars, they usually always have the coolest like character design and different and like again outfits, sick outfits, capes, all this stuff.
I can't believe you didn't say that you wanted to be friends with that like super awesome sister, like Order of the Sister from Star Wars Jedi
yeah,
Fallen Order.
Second Sister Inquisitor.
She
Yeah,
probably seems fun.
she does seem fun. And a little dark, a little brooding. It might be kind of hard. You know, you might just try to be having those fun conversations, and it just always just turns dark. You're just like, well, let's focus on the positive. No, I was betrayed by my master and brought to the dark side. Okay, well, that's a really bummer of a thing to talk about. But let's move
Well,
on.
the other side of that is that you know that if you ever like did get into crimes, she would probably help you.
That's
So
true.
it's like, yeah, you always kind of need one of those people. on
Or
your
ignore me
side.
because she always thinks she has bigger things to do, like hunting Jedi. Just little things
Well,
like that.
yeah, that's probably true too. Maybe she actually would be a terrible friend.
Oh man, but yeah, so this has been a very interesting topic, and I love it. This is fun because it's been a while, I think, so we've done one where we've like just riffed off on a various topics. So this is a lot of fun.
Dumb, stupid.
It really was. It lived up to it really well. But yeah, let us know what some of the villains from video games that you think that you would be able to be best friends with and why. We'd love to hear about it with you. So send us an email at Team Chat. Love to hear about it from you. Let me be more precise. But yeah, so send us an email at teamchatpodcast@gmail.com. Comment on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that jazz. Join our Discord server. You can talk with us about it there. Lots of good conversations going on over on the old Discord as of late. So all that stuff, you can go send us your messages there because we would love to hear from you. But before we go, we do have to do our soundtrack spotlight from the day, which comes from a game I have not played, but the music I do enjoy. It's from Velocity 2X. The song is Frontier, composed by James Marsden and Joris DeMann, who Joris DeMann is the main composer for Horizon Zero Dawn. So it's a bigger departure. It's a big departure in tone and everything from what Horizon Zero Dawn is, in the fact that it's very electronic, kind of little bit of action going on with it and everything. But it just popped up while I was editing one day, and I was like, "What is this song? It's amazing. It sounds great. It's putting me into a flow. I'm loving it. I love these chill beats." And so
I
so,
love this track.
yeah. So that's why I want to focus feature. Let me start again. Here we go. So that's why I want to feature Frontier by James Marsden and Joris from Velocity 2X as our soundtrack spotlight for this week. I got it out there eventually. It's all good. So stick around to the end of the episode. Thank you. So stick around to the end of the episode to listen to that, which is pretty much now. But so until next time, everybody, I'm one of your hosts, Jarrett Wilson, joined by Rachel Mogan. Also, before we go, I do just want to do just a quick note. Since we mentioned it earlier, that just as a reminder, since it's a new thing that we're doing, that at the last week of May, we will be not having an episode again, but instead that will be the next iteration of our stream. So we do those on the Tuesday. So that should be May 26th when we do that. But obviously, due to our personal schedule, that could change. But we're shooting for May 26th. We'll let you know for sure, or once we get the final stuff. But we'll be doing another stream night then. So we would love it if you would all come out and join us for that as well. But until next time, everybody, like I said, I'm one of your hosts, Jarrett Wilson, joined by Rachel Mogan.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you all next time. Stick around for the song.